Welcome to the questions and responses for understanding cancer. Hugely important topic. Question 1 from CatBab ES5JU. My mother died of renal cell carcinoma a few years back. At the time, we were told that it was hereditary. Now my younger brother has been diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma. And again, we're being told it's hereditary. And all direction descendants should be screened. What's your opinion about this, and are there any suggestions that you may have regarding this type of cancer? Thanks in advance. I appreciate all you do. God bless you. Okay, when you look at hereditary, cancers are, lifestyles are hereditary. So when you're looking at a renal cell, that's going to be kidney. So that's ultimately going to be on the health of the blood. So what are the contributing factors? Well, smoking, poor diet, medication use, such as blood pressure and nonsteroidal anti-inflammatories. So if your family has been exposed to those, then you're going to be developing it. And that's the biggest factor when you're looking at hereditary versus the idea that it's metabolic. And that's the key, because I know you can name a number of different relatives that don't have it. And that's the key. So what's the contributing factor? Since you have similar genes or similar genetic history, what causes the gene to be expressed or what causes it to be suppressed? So when you're looking at the metabolic source of cancer, it has to do with what you're consuming or exposed to. Could be environmental toxins, could be, close to factories or dusty, environments. That's very, very common. But looking at blood disorders, and this is blood toxicity, and that's going to be diet, it's going to be medication, nonsteroidal anti-inflammatories is a big contributing factor. Smoking as well, and that is it. So lifestyles are hereditary. Cancers, if it's a metabolic disorder, like all that science is pointing to, then you've got no worries as long as you clean up your system. And I tell your younger brother, man, look at his physical, chemical, and emotional stressors, because those are the key. Because when you're under stress, the blood becomes thick, but also cortisol and stress hormones are elevated. And then you've got that automatic nervous system. One part keeps you alive under stress, and that's the sympathetic or fight or flight. The other part regenerates tissue, and that's the parasympathetic. So when you're building 1 billion cells a day, if you are exposed to a lot of toxins, such as medications, certain medical interventions, toxic diet, low sunlight exposure, sedentary lifestyle, all of those things can be contributing factors to your body's formation of it. So address the underlying factors and put them in your prayers too. Prayer works. Question 2 from Nadja, 5290. Dr. Bergman, thanks so much for your valuable advice. My sister-in-law's cancer would spread from the colon through her whole body. The GP said that the cause is likely her extreme sweating. She used to be a chef in a very hot kitchen. What's the truth in that, please? I've always sweat extremely at night before menses, and I'm worried that this will contribute. Further, I ask about the causality of eating meat and the growth of cancer cells. I lately read a research paper that's showing that not eating meat reduces the risk of stroke, cancer, and heart attack by 20%, which is a lot. Any advice on this? Thank you ever so much in advance. God bless, and God bless you too. So when we look at this, your body has 4 detoxing pathways: respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. So sweating means that the body has had a significant toxic environmental exposure. So her body was trying to get rid of that. And night sweats are super, super common in women that are going through that change into menopause. And what happens is, think of this, your body sends a huge amount of energy to prepare your uterus every 28 days to develop a kid. And that goes from the teens up into the 40s or 50s. And so when your body doesn't need to put forth that energy, then it can concentrate on regenerating tissue or solving problems. And this is going to be the night sweats. Night sweats are a big, big, big clue that there is some type of a stressor in the body. So it's not the sweating that causes it. but the sweating is going to be the fire alarm that tells you that there is some type of toxic metabolic response going on, because you've got respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. So more than likely, there was going to be poor stool formation or poor bowel function, urination. There may be some type of dehydration going on, or mineral loss because she is excessive sweating. So nutrient deficiencies. And then you've got breathing. So there may be a sedentary lifestyle, or where she's not being aerobic, because every time you're working out, you're eliminating carbon dioxide, which is an acid. That means your system becomes more alkaline. This is why moderate exercise has also been shown to reduce cancer formation, because it's a metabolic disorder. So you increase your metabolism in a healthy fashion, then you're going to start to build healthy cells and eliminate the waste products. Now let's get into meat. When you're looking at healthy animal products, and there are a number of different conditions that have been helped by the carnivore diet, because, figure digestion begins in your brain. You smell something, then your body produces a certain acid. What happens when you're smelling meat, your body is going to increase its acid production. And that may give you the ability to get more amino acids from those proteins. That we recommend plants as well. Carnivore diet has been miraculous for a lot of different people. But you've got to look at the type of animal you're consuming. Is it a healthy animal? Does it have antibiotics in it? Was it raised in a factory farm? Was it free range? So look at all the different factors. And then one of the greatest ones is Dr. Lorraine Day. This is a great site. Now, this gal, we've spoken on the same stage before years ago. She was a vegetarian, but she was in incredibly high stress when she developed breast cancer that metastasized to her chest wall and lung. And when you look at the studies now with the vegetables and pesticide exposure, pesticides are estrogen based. So we're looking at healthy, organic, homegrown vegetables are fantastic. But if you're getting commercially produced vegetables that may be sprayed with insecticides or pesticides or herbicides, then you can get some, because remember, cancer is a metabolic disorder. So if you're consuming things that are toxic that your body doesn't know how to break those down, then it's going to wall those off into tumors. I'm not saying vegetables aren't healthy. Healthy vegetables are healthy for you. Healthy meats are healthy for you. You are an omnivore. So, and remember in the old days when we would pray over our food because to thank God for giving us the abundance, but also that food is going to become you. So, we are not flaming hot Cheetos. We are healthy broccoli and onions and garlic and spinach and healthy products out there. So look at what the diet is. Look at that sweating is a detox. When that detox pathway, since it's sweating, to reduce it, increase the bowel function. So that means that you could do a little bit of fiber in a glass of water, just a little shot before each meal. So this is going to help with stool formation. When you're looking at increasing urine production, so this means healthy hydration, and make sure you have plenty of minerals, because if you're going through night sweats, that means you're going to be losing minerals as well. And without minerals, you can't utilize vitamins. So look at a healthy plant mineral. What I mean by that is, this is why sea plants are fantastic. So they're drawing copper, selenium, zinc out of that soil, because in the ocean floor, there still is good nutrient-rich soil. And unless you're growing your own food and you're building your own soil, that's my gig. I've been growing my soil for years. So you need that nutrient-rich soil. Make sure that the seaweed doesn't come from an industrial area like China or Japan, possibly. But look at New Zealand and California. Both have excellent, and Alaska has very, very good sea plants. And that's going to be a great way to get those minerals in the system, particularly if you are sweating. That is a detoxing reaction. And then make sure you get direct sunlight exposure. That's, again, going to help with any type of abnormal cancer, particularly when you're looking at colon cancer. That means that she was consuming things and she was in a chronic state of stress. Because you got that automatic nervous system. Sympathetic is fight or flight that keeps you alive under stress. When you're in a chronic state of stress, then you have decreased blood supply to the gut. You add that stress along with consuming other toxic agents, then you add in poor sleep patterns because there's going to be more stressors because the night sweats are keeping you up or making you uncomfortable. That's a recipe for disaster. So follow the body, listen to the body. If you're sweating, replace the minerals and fluid and help the other detox pathways. Increase the colon function, increase urine function, increase respiration. That means moderate exercise. And that is the best way to get your body healthy. From Anna Christie, 9984. I have ovarian cancer. What supplements or food can I take to stop it spreading? I've had surgery to remove the tumors, but this caused the spillage of the cancer cells throughout my body. I've refused chemotherapy. When you're looking at ovarian cancer is so common. And even if it's not cancer, the polycystic ovary syndrome or many cysts on the ovaries is incredibly common now. Why? Because a lot of pesticides are estrogen based. So this is you've got to look at a couple of different things. One, you've got that automatic nervous system in two parts. Sympathetic means fight or flight. Parasympathetic is resting, digesting, and repairing. And that parasympathetic is located in the pelvis and the cervical spine. So if you have alterations in that pelvis, and this is going to be, clues because we're detectives now. If your big toe is leaning towards your other toes, like in beginning bunion formation, that means that you've got compromised nerve supply to the foot. Those nerves come out of the top of the pelvis. And that if the pelvis is off, you are having trouble resting, digesting, repairing. But also, if those pelvic nerves that supply the ovaries and uterus are compromised, that means that tissue doesn't maintain the same health as if it had a healthy nerve supply. So look at autonomic nerve supply function, look at pelvic instability or unstable pelvis, look at lumbar issues as well. So that way you've cleared the nervous system. Also look at the cervical spine, get the entire system, the physical side checked, and then get off of any packaged or processed foods. And this is where those packaged and processed foods are incredibly toxic. Plus, when you're looking at common grain products, such as commercially produced bread, those things are sprayed with an herbicide called glyphosate, and that is carcinogenic. So commercially produced grain products, when you're looking at all the packaged chips and dips that have toxic oils in it, all of these and pesticides are estrogen-based. They're going to migrate over to those. Then there have been certain medical interventions in the last couple of years that God, how do you put it without getting canceled? That tend to migrate to ovaries, uterus, liver, spleen. And this is why we're seeing a big rise in ovarian issues after the forced medical interventions. Look at the entire structure. Look at your physical, chemical, and emotional stress. So this means sleep patterns. Look at the 4 detox pathways you've got: respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. So increase your urine production by getting healthy amounts of water and minerals. Look at your food. So make sure you're getting 2 to 3 healthy bowel movements a day. That means 100% organic. Look at sweating. So this is going to be saunas and exercise, which is also going to help detox it. Change your sleep patterns, because sleep is when the body regenerates, and change your emotional component, because physical, chemical, emotional. Reprogram your brain, because this is scary. When you hear cancer, our brains go into this fight or flight system. And what do I do? How did I get it? No, it's a metabolic disorder. So your body is forming those tumors to wall off the toxic environmental stimulus that you've been exposed to. So you get that taken care of, then your body can build healthy cells. And I don't blame you refusing chemotherapy. Look at healthy lifestyle. Oh, also too, do a live blood cell analysis. So this way you can see the health of the blood. Because if you were exposed to any of those forced medical interventions, we've got to get the blood healthy. Question 4 from the mini Legoro bottom. Okay. I butchered that name. I've heard of breast milk in protein. The hamlet is a protein of breast milk of protein and fat combination. Can this cure cancer? Could you please have a topic on this? What's wild is they're doing so many studies on human breast milk. The tough part is that it's not patentable. So there's a lot of studies out there that show it's fantastic for certain type of breast cancers, for certain type of bladder cancers. And it turns out that there's living cells in this milk. And they've done tons of studies on it. It's just super cool to do research and find out that natural products actually that a human body is exposed to. Breast milk, not only does it protect children and is fantastically good for them, this is why we recommend breastfeeding as long as you can. A year would be great, if not more. So you give this production, and then we also don't recommend, if you're having trouble producing milk, to do the standard processed, which is milk that you mix up with a powder. Okay, it's I don't want to say the brand names because again that could be a problem, but it's a lot of the main ingredient in that is genetically modified high fructose corn syrup. So that is not healthy. But yet that breast milk is amazing to protect the child, but also has phenomenal cancer cells in there. They were interesting when looking at the research. They found a lot of living cells, live cells in that milk that have a phenomenal effect. When we look at how brilliant the human body is and what its ability to adapt, it's just a wonderment. I mean, you should walk by a mirror and smile because you are human. God bless you. Question 5 from Mokeet Travels 9638. Regarding apricot seeds, how many and how often would you recommend eating them, and for how long? I got to tell you, it'd be great to eat a few of them every day. It's that B17 is amazing in it. And now they do have a product in there or a substance in there that you metabolize down to cyanide. So if you're eating too many of them, your fingertips will start to go numb. And that could be, it really depends on your metabolism. So if you have, say, a 150-pound human being and they sleep really, really good, where their metabolic breakdown of those apricot kernels is going to be different than if they slept poorly. So even taking the same person, there's going to be a lot of different metabolic responses based on the stress level, whether you can break them down or not. So this is the hardest part. You got to listen to the doctor within. The doctor within is smarter than any doctor without. So if you're taking 4 or 5 and you think, that's about half of what I need, I'm going to start doing 10 to 15. Or if you're doing 10 to 15 and you think, that I want to do less, listen to that doctor inside. And this is, again, why I always recommend doing a live blood cell analysis to make sure you're doing it. Look at the basic detox pathways that you got to monitor your metabolic response. Respiration. Are you doing aerobic activities every day? At least a half hour. Perspiration. If you don't have the ability to sweat outside, like you're in a cold environment, then get a sauna so your body can sweat. Urine production. So make sure you're fully hydrated with good water, fresh spring water and minerals. Okay. So, and then bowel movements. You need 3 healthy bowel movements a day. So you've got respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. So if you're up to 3 healthy bowel movements a day, you're sleeping fantastic, waking up with tons of energy, and you have a great positive mental attitude. You have an attitude of gratitude during the day, and you're expressing love in your life. That's good. So how many do you need? only you can decide. I've got a jar at each office that I'm at, and I probably do 4 or 5. When I'm home on the weekend, I'll probably do like 10 of them. But it's going to be up to you. And your metabolism is going to change as well based on sleep and stress level. Now, if your question wasn't answered here, go to the drbvip.com site, and with there we can speak a lot more freely. And thank you so much for those questions. That was amazing. God bless you. And thank you very much.